my goal right now is to get this to the living room instead of keeping it in my bedroom. As much as I love my Kobo, I am getting tired of bringing it up and down the stairs, forgetting it in my backpack, and being this pregnant and climbing the stairs is no joke. I'm going to borrow a thick stack of books that I can read at bedtime. I also remember when I was up late with the baby last time, I did a lot of doom scrolling on my phone while I was breastfeeding, and this time I want that to change. I'm going to read books while breastfeeding instead of doom scrolling on my phone. That is the plan for today, and you're all coming with me. I'm really excited to do this because I know buying books and going to a chapters is so much fun. It's like a special little treat for yourself, but books are expensive and it can add up even if you're hitting up secondhand bookstores. And I just really want to encourage myself and other people to go to the library and find something that isn't necessarily trending on TikTok or Instagram, because there are so many books just sitting on those shelves waiting to be read, and I'm hoping that I can find some really good ones today to share with you all. So I'm gonna whisper. I really hope that the mic picks up my voice. This one's called Mr. Mo's Traveling Couch. I want to read more East Asian stories. It's about a psychologist who studied Freud. I think the idea of Asian person studying psychology is really interesting to me because I feel like mental health is so downplayed in Chinese culture. Another classic. My goal is to read as many classics this year as I can, and I already read Pride and Prejudice, so Persuasion by Jane Austen just makes sense, and it was the only classics available at this library. The cover's so pretty, and that's the only reason why I pulled it. It doesn't look like it'll take too long to read, but like, look at this. This is so cool. Okay, if anyone's read this, please let me know if this is a good read or not. I read this series a really long time ago, but I didn't finish the series, and I can't remember which book this is. Like, is this book 3 or book 4? I don't know. I'm gonna look it up before I leave, but maybe I'll reread the series because I do remember liking it. Okay, this is a Greek fantasy novel. I love anything Greek, anything Hades and Persephone I'll read, but this is about Danae. Danae is a fisherman's daughter developing strange powers tied to a mysterious tree bearing golden fruit. What do you think? Should I bring it home with me? I do love Greek mythology. This is the last book because somehow every book I pick today is a hardcover. And yes, my car is parked right outside, but I am really struggling to walk these days. So I'm limiting myself on the number of books I check out. I still have to go upstairs and borrow books for my son. It's gonna be heavy, guys. This one's called The Familiar. Again, at the inside, beautiful. I love it when authors make the inside of their books beautiful too, not just the cover. It says, Louisa Codato uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil as a scullion. Scullion? Is that like scullery maid? See, this is why I need to read more. My vocabulary sucks. Okay, this looks interesting though. I'm gonna take this home. You're all coming home with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I can read these before I have to return them. Library books for about a week now, and I've gotten through 2. I am so pleasantly surprised with how great the books I picked turned out.
I feel like I need to be very heavily influenced before I start a book, which is why Book Talk and Bookstagram have been so great. But I think when you follow Book Talk trends, Bookstagram trends, you fall into a niche. And I'm not saying it's not good. Anything that encourages you to read will never be a bad thing in my books. But randomly picking books from the library, giving this a quick little read, seeing what catches your interest is the way to go. Because it's low commitment, guys. It's the library. If you don't like it, just return it. There's no harm done. But so far, I am 2 for 2, and I'm really, really happy. Pocket Full of Crows. It was a very fast read. I think if you want to get into reading more classics, but you're not quite entertained by the language that's used, by the style of writing, I think this is a really good gateway classic. Just because the writing is very similar to some of the classics that I've read. It's a revenge story. I love a good revenge story. This one is about a girl who falls in love with the wrong guy, and she and the forces of nature get back at him. Good read, very fast. I think I finished it in like 2 days. This one I'm only a third of the way in. I wasn't quite sure. The first 4 chapters, I was a little worried that this would be a book I wouldn't finish. But now that I'm a third of the way in, I'm committed. I need to know what happens next, and it's so good. All of these tabs just represent parts that I really like. Quotes that I want to remember. I'm going to write down the quotes that I've tabbed in the book into my journal. And it's just about very ordinary girl. Actually, no, she's not ordinary. She has magic, but it doesn't even matter. Having magic doesn't even matter because she's at a station in life where it doesn't really help her. But then she gets discovered, and this is a time where like witches were burned at the stake. I'm just so committed right now because I think there's gonna be a romance. I'm not sure yet. I have a feeling, I have an inkling that there's gonna be a romance in this book, and I am so for it because the guy I think she's gonna fall in love with is our like very typical stoic, grouchy guy, and you know, that's my favorite. I can't wait to finish this. As you can tell, I am sitting in my glider and not on the ground. I can no longer film videos sitting on the ground. It hurts too much. So this will be my breastfeeding setup / reading setup now. I have a little nightstand here to put my books on. Got my stuffies here. I can also use a stool in case I need it. Right now, nesting for me is just making sure I have a really good breastfeeding and reading setup because, like I said earlier in the video, I am planning on finishing. I'm planning on finishing all of these in, I don't know, I think I could finish all of these in a month. Maybe that's too high of an expectation, but that's the hope. Wish me luck!